Thank you very much, Presiding Officer. First of all, Presiding Officer, I'd just like to touch upon one point that Stephen Kerr highlighted in his closing remarks, and I quote, he did say he spoke about the education system as being worthy of its heritage. Now, I will disagree with Mr Kerr on that, because I'm quite sure if we consider many people who have got dyslexia, generation after generation after generation, where the education system in Scotland failed them, then I genuinely cannot accept Mr Kerr's comments about worthy of its heritage. Absolutely.
Stephen Kerr.
I agree that the system doesn't always live up to its, in terms of responding to people's needs. I was referring to the worldwide reputation that Scotland's education system has enjoyed for generations, which is where it needs to be now.
Stuart McMillan.
No, absolutely, Mr Kerr. I absolutely agree with you on that point. I know that's what you were talking about and that's what you're referring to. Sorry, Mr Kerr was referring to. However, as I'm a member of the cross-party group in dyslexia, I've got many constituents who have contacted me and I've dealt with over many, many years as a parliamentarian, and the education system failed them generation after generation after generation. So I genuinely think there is a bit of an impression that Scotland's education system in the past was of the highest order. It clearly wasn't when it failed people with dyslexia. So I did want to speak in this debate as providing a range of technical and vocational opportunities for pupils is something that secondary schools in my Greenock and Inverclyde constituency are already offering. Now, before highlighting some local examples, I do think it's important that, as other colleagues from across the Chamber have already done, is to mention how vital technical and vocational qualifications are. And they not only provide young people with the opportunity to gain skills through on-the-job training, they are also an instrumental way for businesses to future-proof their workforce. And I think AC White is an outstanding example of how that can be done. AC White is an organisation based in Barrhead, obviously not my constituency, but in 2018 they set up a programme with West College Scotland, whereby they offered training opportunities and they guaranteed a job at the end of it if the people actually fulfilled the full training. And that particular programme is still ongoing, and I warmly welcome that type of joined-up approach. And also, just yesterday, I met with representatives from Action for Children who are providing support for young people and their families in Inverclyde across three main areas: criminal justice, employability and also well-being. They outlined how, by taking a person-centred approach to employability support and by focusing on developing relationships with young people, they provide a holistic service that delivers better outcomes. And this wraparound service ensures that young people are supported to engage with employability programmes and gain qualifications while completing the unpaid work orders, such as the Construction Skills Certification Scheme card. Now, this is an industry that has in recent years struggled to attract people to the sector. So this shows how the work of Action for Scotland, while primarily being about supporting young people into sustainable employment, can also reap benefits for industry and also the economy. Now, Action for Scotland are also an example of how the third sector can help young people and families caught up in the criminal justice system break that cycle and take a different path. Now, during the meeting, though, the staff highlighted how third sector funding of one-year cycles is a challenge, and they struggle to plan and know what services they can deliver in an area long-term, something that Fergus Ewing touched upon in his comments earlier. And I say that the situation is actually comparable to what third sector organisations supporting people with substance misuse issues previously faced. And as we now know, this had cross-party support across the Chamber. The Drugs Minister, Angela Constance MSP, took these concerns on board and delivered multi-year funding opportunities for the third sector working in this area. And as Action for Children work with young people who face many barriers to employment, including in some cases substance dependency, I would like to see the funding models that they rely on, such as No One Left Behind, move to multi-year funding. Now, this would enable the organisation to plan long-term and support more young people in my constituency into sustainable employment through technical and vocational courses. I think that the point of breaking the cycle is hugely important, Presiding Officer, because one of the points that was highlighted yesterday was that irrespective as to the economic situation, it was put to me that 5%, there's a 5% hard to reach of young people. There's a 5% hard to reach of young people trying to get onto positive outcomes. And when there is an economic downturn, when there's economic challenges, this 5% increases. The situation only gets worse. So if we are to try to get it right, to help every single young person, I think organisations like Action for Children and other organisations are hugely important in that. Also, the Scottish Government's motion today touches upon the issue of the developing the young workforce. And I also want to put on record my thanks to their West team for all that they're doing in Inverclyde. The Deputy First Minister came to West College, Scotland in 2019 to congratulate 4 pupils from Inverclyde Academy who, with the help of the DWP, so the DYW West team, they took part in the Green Power Challenge earlier that year. That particular programme helped these young individuals with the technical skills, with vocational skills, also with teamwork, as well as working on their own. Now, these 4 young men they've went on, and they are now working in. They're in a positive destination. I was in the school last year, and I did ask the question to see where they were. So I was really pleased to hear that. So here is yet another example of schools, of colleges, and also of other organisations working together in partnership to help our community and also to help our young people. So with that, Presiding Officer, I am conscious I am well over my time, so thank you very much.